Welcome to Keystone Strategy Trading. Please take a moment to review our performance disclaimer and then we'll get started. At Keystone Strategy Trading, we've been programming custom algorithmic solutions since 2009. Over the last 15 years, we've seen a wide gamut of complexity in algorithms. In looking back over the years, some of the more successful strategies were the least complex. While the entry trigger is important, we found that a few key entry filters will improve most entry triggers. We have created and made available 23 strategies based on common, well-known entry triggers. We customized these strategies to all have the same entry filters and exits. If you would like to gain access to these strategies, or you would like more details for these filters and the exits, head over to our website where you will find a detailed description. Today we will be demonstrating one of these strategies and how applying these filters and exits can improve the overall performance metrics. Today we're spotlighting the opening range breakout strategy. For this test, we're looking at the SPY on a 5-minute interval with a 15-minute opening range, a classic setup for capturing early morning volatility. To ensure that these results aren't just lucky or curve-fitted, we optimized the strategy on 2 years of historical data, then validated it against 1 year out-of-sample data. The results? Let's take a side-by-side look. Here's the side-by-side comparison. On the right-hand side of the screen, we added the opening range breakout strategy without any entry filters or exits. On the left-hand side of the screen, we applied several of the KST Core L2 features, or entry filters and exits. Here's a summary of the filters that were added. For the long entries, we added a time filter. This will only allow a new position to be entered between 8:30 a.m. Central Time and 10:55 a.m. Central Time. As this is a 15-minute breakout, the first entry can actually only be taken after 8:45 a.m. Central Time. The ADX is set to 14, meaning the ADX must be at least 14 to take a new position. The VWAP is set to -1.9, meaning the price must be above -1.9 standard deviations below current VWAP. The profit target is set to 1.15%, and the stop loss was set to 1.7%. For the short entries, the time filter is set the same as the long entry. The ADX is set to 16. The ATR max is set to 1.55, meaning the ATR on a 5-minute chart cannot exceed 1.55 for a new position. The moving average filter is set to a 100 SMA, meaning the price must be less than the 100-period simple moving average. The profit target is set to 0.9%, and the stop loss is set to 1.5%. Both the long and short entries are set to exit 10 minutes before the market closes. Now, let's compare a few of the performance metrics from before and after we optimized the strategy on 2 years of data. The overall net profit improved a little. One of the key things to note here is now the long and short metrics are not as far apart. Let's compare a few of the key metrics. First, let's look at the net profit. The difference between the long and short net profit is not as significant. You can see this with the profit factor, and the percent profitable, and the average trade net profit. Another key metric to consider is the number of trades. Here you can see we reduced the number of trades, which means we reduce the risk while increasing the net profit. The most significant impact is the max drawdown. Prior to the optimization, the drawdown was over 9,000. And after the drawdown was reduced to about 3,100. A pretty significant reduction in the drawdown. Now let's compare the before and after equity curve. First, we will look at the equity curve on the 2 years of data that we used for optimizing the strategy. Now let's take a look at how the strategy performed on some out-of-sample data. We have now added an additional year of data. The out-of-sample trades are the first 200 or so trades, as seen right here. In closing, let's do a comparison of the before and after equity curves. On the bottom right, we have the equity curve prior to applying the filters and exits. On the top left, we have the results after optimizing the level 2 core filters and exit. If you are interested in this strategy or any of the 23 strategies where we have applied these entry filters and exits, head over to our website. Once you have gained access to these strategies, you will be able to test them on any instrument or time frame you choose. You can backtest and optimize using all of the inputs available to each strategy. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in learning more, have any questions for us? Please visit our website at keystonestrategytrading.com.